Horrible news is coming out of the state of Minnesota today as a state representative and her husband were shot and killed. A state senator and his wife were also shot and wounded in what has been described as an act of targeted political violence, and this was at their homes early on Saturday morning, June 14th. A manhunt is now underway for the gunman who police said was impersonating a police officer, and that was at the time of the shootings. The suspect has been identified as 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter. So State Representative Melissa Hortman, who is pictured here with her family, was reportedly a Democrat, and she and her husband Mark were reportedly shot and killed in what appeared to be a politically motivated assassination. Melissa Hortman was formerly the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, and the governor has now described her as a formidable public servant and said that she was irreplaceable. Now, as for State Senator John Huffman, who is pictured here, he is also a Democrat. And he and his wife Yvette were both shot multiple times, and reportedly they had surgery, and there are hopes that they're going to survive. According to reports, the two shooting locations are located just miles apart from each other. They were in Champlin and Brooklyn Park, which are both just north of Minneapolis. Senator John Huffman, who is pictured here, and his wife were shot at their home in Champlin at around 2 a.m. Police believe that when the shooter did the shooting, he was wearing a latex mask that looked real. Now, after Senator Huffman here was shot, police then headed over to be proactive and check out Representative Hortman's home to make sure they were okay and safe, but unfortunately it was too late. When they got to her home, they reportedly encountered the suspect. This was at around 3:35 a.m. Police said that the suspect they found was dressed as a police officer, and he was wearing a vest and a badge, and he had a taser and other equipment. He looked very real. He was reportedly at the door coming out of Melissa's home when authorities arrived. The suspect then fired at officers, and gunfire was then exchanged, and the suspect was able to flee and escape on foot, unfortunately. It was also said that the suspect's vehicle looked like a police patrol vehicle, and it even had lights and everything on it. This was in Melissa's driveway. According to reports, authorities found a list of other possible targets for the suspect in his vehicle. That included dozens of other Democrats in Minnesota, and that did include the governor. The shooter's list also reportedly included names of abortion providers and pro-choice activists. Security resources have now been dispatched to protect the names of the possible targets who were on the suspect's list. Now that the manhunt is ongoing, authorities are asking community members to be extra cautious. Police have warned that if an officer comes to your door to call 911, and that's to confirm that the officer is supposed to be there, police are asking that no one open their door to a lone police officer. And they said that licensed police officers will be working in pairs for now. A shelter-in-place order was lifted for Brooklyn Park. Local leaders reportedly said that even though the suspect does remain at large and wanted by authorities, there is reason to believe that he is not in that area anymore. The governor also warned that Minnesota residents should not attend any political rallies in the state until this dangerous man is caught. That's because there were flyers that said "No Kings" that were found inside the suspect's vehicle. Now, as you know, those protests were set to be held today on Saturday all over the United States, and that's to protest Trump's administration and to counter-program the military parade that was held in Washington, D.C., which was also on President Trump's birthday. The No Kings protest events were reportedly canceled across the state of Minnesota on Saturday, and that was after the shootings. So if any of you are in these areas, please be careful. My heart and prayers go out to all of the victims and their families, and I pray the other people on the list remain safe. For more updates into this case and other true crime news, make sure to follow and subscribe over on YouTube.